ADHD is not a concern. It's all right. Now, I perform all over the Midwest, so I always have to check that out. I was doing a show in this place, even more white, Howell, Michigan. So if you're not familiar with Howell, Michigan, they started this very popular boy band, kind of like NSYNC, but instead it was called the Ku Klux Klan. And if you pay me, I will show up. I earned that $19 that night. I've been doing comedy a few years. It's really fun because the thing is you do a lot of things outside of comedy also to make money. So I was doing a video shoot and you had musicians, you had comedians, you also had other artists. And a lot of these people like to just brag about the things they do. Guy comes up to me, he's like, hey man, what do you do? I said, I'm Darius Walker, I do comedy all over. I was like, what do you do? He said, well, I used to be a recurring extra on The Cosby Show. That's a weird thing to brag about, right? That's like bragging about saying I used to be R. Kelly's linen sheets manager. Like, you're not telling me much, you're telling me you handle a lot of piss at one point, right? But I was raised by my great-grandma, and so I was taught to be respectful when someone's talking. So I keep listening. And so the guy keeps going on and on and on. He was like, hey man, did you ever watch that show? I said, no, that show always put me asleep. He said, well, you snooze, you lose. I said, I feel like Cosby said that exact same thing. Bad guy, right? I was doing a show in Royal Oak, Michigan. The thing was, the show went great. And when you do that, you add a lot of extra confidence. So at the end of the show, a lady a little older, she comes up to me, she's like, Darius, I love the show. I thought you were so funny. I had all that confidence. I was like, thank you. I know. And that's where I made a mistake. She was like, Darius, I bet you get all the women back home. I said, actually, I'm engaged, been in a very long-term relationship. She didn't like that answer. She said, but you can register when you look at me as a woman. I'm old enough to be your mom. I said, no, my mom's younger. Lost a fan that night. No, the thing is, I've been married. It's really cool. My wife is white. Perfect, you passed the test. Because I'll do some shows, I'll say that, and the guy in the back will be like, yeah! I feel like Steve Harvey on Family Feud. That answer's not on the board. My wife's a teacher, give it up for teachers. Unless you know we're poor. So, the thing is, when you marry a teacher, you're engaged to a teacher, you volunteer for after-school programs. So that makes me better than you. I coach girls on the run. You guys familiar with that program at all? Cool. If you're not, it's basically you work with 3rd through 5th grade girls. You're not only teaching them exercise, but the importance of life skills. And I must say, those girls are mean. Didn't think I was going to meet my bully at 31, that's all. But I will tell you this, I am one of the best coaches in the state of Michigan. I have a very unique approach to it. Feel free to write it down, give it a try. So I go outside, I see a girl, I chase her, she runs, I catch up, because, you know, and I say, wow, you're fast. I get real low and I say, see you next time. And this is how I know it's catching on, because now the cops are doing it to me. The switcheroo. Now, I'm very thankful though I met my wife, because I think dating was always difficult. One of the worst dates I ever went on, it was during COVID. We went on a hike. So we were online, I came across a profile that said all the right things except she wasn't into sports. I love sports. And when I went to her pictures, I couldn't quite make out what she looks like. Some of her photos she had a mask, and some of them she had sunglasses. So I wasn't exactly sure what she looked like. My roommate came up to me, he was like, Darius, are you not gonna go on that date because you don't know what she looks like? I said, yeah. He said, you never know though, that could be the last date you ever go on. So we go on that date, we go on the hike, that's right, I'm a survivor, and she looks beautiful. And the conversation's flowing. We get halfway on the hike, she says, Darius, I gotta tell you something. I said, let me hear. She says, Darius, I'm polyamorous. I said, I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm also good at geometry. She says, no, Darius, that's not what that means. That means I have multiple partners. I said, I thought you weren't a fan of sports. You seem to be a pretty big fan of team activities. And we say something like that, the date ends immediately. So I go home, I'm sitting there, my roommate comes up and he's like, Darius, how'd the date go? I said, not the best. He said, that date not go well because she did not look like her picture? I said, no, it's more like she was looking for a group photo. That's the thing, you just gotta know things that aren't for you, you know? Like, I lived a very interesting life in some ways, but I'm very thankful for my upbringing. Make some noise you guys got kids. Make some noise you had kids on purpose. A little weaker on this side. Now, the thing is, I always respect people that have kids because I think it's always a big, responsibility to make sure they are a fully functioning adult by 18. And people call kids many things. Some people call them mistakes. Some people call them a miracle. In my house, we're like, that's Darius. And to raise them to be a fully functioning adult, it's difficult. It doesn't get a lot of respect at the end of the day. You want to make sure that this kid can run, read a bike. I said read a bike. Run, swim. And in my household, I don't have all those skills. Swimming. And the thing is, I grew up in a very traditionally black household. Like, my great-grandma doesn't know how to swim, my grandma doesn't know how to swim, my mom doesn't know how to swim, my mom was also in the Navy. I know, it's weird. Being in the Navy and not knowing how to swim, that's like being a line cook and not having cocaine addiction. The Chili's does not taste the same. It's always one of those things that's a little interesting. So I was raised by my great-grandparents. My great-grandmother was born in 1926, my great-grandfather in 1925. And my great-grandmother is still with me today, so she is 99, and next year she'll be 100. And, thank you. And the thing is, to be raised by someone of that generation, it's a little different. Like, she had weird rules. Like, we weren't allowed to wear glasses inside the house, so I left for college and graduated. She was like, real men don't wear glasses. I was like, wow, Grandpa wasn't blind, he was just a cheater. And she always had this thing, she was like, I can't wait for that day where he goes to Florida. Because you don't call Florida God's waiting room. So that makes hurricane season Judgment Day. Tough household. But I will tell you this, I'll leave you on this. My great-grandmother, she always taught me rules, and one of the biggest rules was always to be honest with your friends, be honest with your family. So me and my friends were real close. We would go up north, we sit around the fire, we play the finger game. Not that one. Never have I ever, put a finger down if you had it before. I was like, ooh, first round. Put a finger down, been to jail before. A couple fingers go down, one guy puts 2 fingers down. Like, it's not how the game works. Second round, chlamydia, any burn victims here? A couple fingers go down, one guy puts 2 fingers down. Like, that's weird. Last round, gonorrhea, the clap. I said, put a finger down, had the clap before. A couple fingers go down, same guy, all his fingers go down. I go to him like, so, you know how the game works, right? You put a finger down if you've had it before. He's like, oh, I thought you put a finger down basically times you've had it. So how many times have you had the clap? I've had the clap 6 times. Like, ooh, that's no longer the clap. That's a round of applause. All right, guys, I'm Darius Walker. I want you guys to get up your hands.
What up, though, Sunday Night Funnies? Let me hear y'all say what up to Tom. All right, y'all loud. That's good enough. All right, so listen, y'all ever have like random questions that pop in your head sometime? Okay, so my random question of today was, how come rib condoms don't taste like ribs? Like, that's what's advertising. Like, you know what I'm saying? You ever had your mouth really set for something and it ain't what you thought it was? I want to know who can I sue for this. Like, it's crazy. And, speaking of false advertisement, I have on a padded bra today. Woohoo! I call it my winter bra. And I came to the conclusion that I first, I always would say I want to be a big dude, but I think I changed my mind because I don't like dudes whose titties bigger than mine. Okay? Kind of pisses me off a little bit, I used to weigh 307 pounds, y'all. I was a big little bitch, okay? And when you lose weight, things about your body change. So now, like when I bend over, my titties is like the skinniest thing on my body. It's like when I put on my bra, it's like a fruit roll up. It's crazy. And I do have on a shaper. I had to let people know that because I won't be up here that long because my outfit hurt. But and I know I dress for comfort, but it's uncomfort underneath, okay? Because sometimes when you buy stuff from Fashion Nova, the body don't come with the outfit, okay? But I had to put the shaper on cause I said I gotta keep my butt in place, all right? I have what you call a memory foam ass, okay? I had a dude smack me in the ass one time. I had a handprint for 5 months, okay? And it kind of looked like a turkey, so on Thanksgiving I just took a marker and drew some feathers around that bitch. I'm really festive, okay? But the crazy thing about dating is I gotta let dudes know I got a shaper on, so I ask them important questions like, you like bigger bitches, right? And because there's more, okay? When I take the shaper off and bust out like a dusty packet can of biscuits, like, okay? I like giving dating advice too. Ted said that he wanted a woman who had bad vision and made poor decisions. I said, damn, this motherfucker is describing me to the T, okay? I put on my glasses for y'all tonight too, okay? But I got one bit of advice to help you out, Ted. If you said you want a woman to have sex with you while she's in the room, and the best thing, because you seem like a great guy. Like, I think you probably got good credit and may own some shit. So the one thing you need is Cash App. Okay, we like money, and it's just that one magical sound that'll make a woman happy. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like music to our ears. And food, we like food a lot. We like food a lot. And speaking of food, I turned 41 this year, y'all, and I pee loud as fuck now, okay? It's crazy how this happens. Like, it's like hot meat to grease. It sounds like fried chicken, something like, get the 2 drops out, okay? You don't get the 2 drops out. I found out the hard way. Like, my ex had my name saved in his phone as Pissy Pussy. And that's embarrassing. Especially when your picture pop up with it. Like, and then all his friends is like, what up, PP? And I'm like, where did he get that from? He's like, that's my little pet name for you. Like, that's all right. I had a pet name for my ex, too. Now, just so y'all know, I am a faithful woman, and I told my ex, I said, I never cheat. The only thing I ever cheat on is diets, okay? Obviously. But, and everything was good until you found out I had his name saved in my phone. It's diet. So, I'm single now. But it's cool, you know what I'm saying? I don't mind being single and dating out here. I'm at that weird age, like, where I could date, like, the father or the son. Like, I got options, okay? We're father and son. I date them all. Y'all remember that son? It was so whatever the hell they said in that commercial. But, Sweeties Day just passed. Did y'all celebrate Sweeties Day? It's mainly a Midwest thing. No, y'all said, fuck that, we keep it our day. You did? You got a blowjob, didn't you? You had me. Like, he's smiling from ear to ear. I just feel like you giving, I got a blowjob energy. She like, yeah, I did that. That's what's up, you know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like guys need more love. Like, the stepdads don't even get the love that they should. And, like, fathers, like, just doing great stuff, being there, right? Speaking of the stepdads, because I always got to let people know that, like, I think, like, the best stepdad in the world is Jesus' stepdad, Joseph, okay? Joseph took good-ass care of Jesus. Like, he raised the Savior. Like, who can really, that's big stepdad energy. Who can say that, you know what I'm saying? And you got to look at all the accolades. Like, who can just really walk around like, my son turned water into wine? Like, I think that's kind of dope. And then, even if you're like a rowdy stepdad, you could be like, my son was history's first table flipper. Like, that's my boy. Like, I would be so proud. You know what I'm saying? Then he saved humanity. Like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? In your face, LeBron, okay? Top that. So, yeah, shout out to the dads. Like, I gotta stop being so toxic, though, when it comes to dads. Like, if I'm dating a guy and it's the son, I'll be like, better shut the fuck up before I make you my stepson. And that's why I'm still single. It's things like that, And people tend to ask me questions like, hey, Too Tall, what's your favorite thing about comedy? And I would say it's the guys trying to give me free penis at the end of the show. And like, I don't always take it you know, options are good, you know. It's pretty cool, you know. And then something else about me, y'all, because I wanna tell y'all really something secretive about me, but I don't know how much time I got. So let's see. If I tell y'all this, y'all promise not to tell nobody? Okay. I like little meat. Okay, I do. I like little meat. When I say little meat, I like little sausages. I do. And don't be alarmed. It's okay. It's first of all, the big meats, they talk back too much. Okay? They have confidence, and I like my men to have a little low self-esteem. Okay? You know, I like them with little meat and a little splash of ugly. Okay? And an SSI check preferably. That's an SSI check is always nice. And Cash App. Cash App is great too. Cash App is great. But you guys, I'm gonna go because I have Bible study, and I'm too tall, Toy too tall. Make sure you guys vote for me. Have a great night.
I'm Dan, and I'm deaf. I wear hearing aids to be able to hear and communicate. And that surprises people. They say, you don't sound deaf, which I understand. They also told me I don't look deaf. I'm not sure I understand that. It's really weird when people feel the need to tell you. I had someone tell me, Dan, you're not deaf, you're hard of hearing. Which is, you know, kind of strange. And like, I don't really want to get into the differing definition between deaf and hard of hearing, but I do want to focus on the term hard of hearing. Like, is hard of hearing blaming me? It's not that I'm deaf. Hearing is just hard for me. But it's not like I could just suddenly hear if I just tried harder. If you want to know what a deaf guy trying to hear looks like, it looks like this. It doesn't work. Hard of hearing is a weird term. It's been around for a really long time, since the mid-1500s, which makes sense, because that's when we had phrases like strong of arm and fleet of foot, and even hard of seeing. And while those phrases have become outdated and antiquated and nobody uses them more, hard of hearing is stuck around. And I think I know why. It's the alliteration, hard of hearing. It sounds nice, even to my ears. Yeah, y'all caught up. So I'm all about alliteration. So I think if we're going to keep using hard of hearing, we should be better about some of our other terms. For example, I'm not broke, I'm hard of paying. But we're going to stick with the alliteration, financially fragile. I'm sorry I can't pay for your drinks, I'm weak of wealth. I see some of you have glasses. I'm sorry. You're soft of seeing. They're not drowning. They're strong of thinking. Any left-handers here? You're wrong of right. People aren't stupid. They're just leery of learning. You don't have erectile dysfunction. You're just hard of hardening. So people like to tell me I'm not deaf, I'm hard of hearing. They also used to tell me that they used to think I was creepy. And I don't really know why. Well, I know why they used to think I was creepy. So let me explain. I had hair down to the middle of my back. I had a black hat, a weak goatee, and a long black leather trench coat. So sort of school shooter chic. So I understand now why people might have found my appearance a little unsettling. But I wasn't trying to be creepy, I was just trying to be different. I was negligent of normal. But they said, Dan, we thought you were creepy. We thought you might be a serial killer. Which is, I'm nothing like a serial killer. other than being a white dude. But it's not like I grew up killing animals. I mean, technically I did grow up killing animals. Let me explain. I grew up on a chicken farm in Texas, and we would grow the chicken, and Tyson would come and take them away to make chicken nuggies. And we would be left with what we called the runts, the ones that were deemed unacceptable for consumption. So, not easy of eating. Favorable of flavor. So we had these runts, and my job was to go out with a stick and break their necks. I know. The silence in this room is exactly the right reaction. It's terrible. But it's not like I enjoyed it. I mean, I kind of enjoyed it. Let me explain. It's really easy to enjoy something when you're really good at it. And I was really good at it. I was so good at it that they hired me out to other farms to provide this service. So, yeah, it was kind of fun to be a 10-year-old avian assassin. The chicken hitman for hire. But that doesn't make me a serial killer. I've never killed a person. No. That would be insane. What kind of Zodiac killer narcissist would I have to be killing people and then come on stage and say, I'm not a murderer? That would be insane. But it is what a serial killer would say. No. I'm not a murderer. I'm not keen of killing. Helpful of homicide. No, I'm just hard of hearing. Thank you all very much. I'm done.
I'm from a small town. I'm from a little tiny town. I got an old school dad. He gets his groceries at Home Depot, that bullshit. And, he's old school. I'm a first generation wimp, so we're very different. He came over to my house like all summer to help me fix up my house, and we'll trade off playing music for each other. And I listen to hip hop, so he says he hates my music because of the language, which I find hilarious. I'm like, blue collar dad from West Michigan can't handle cussing. Is that what I'm to believe? Is that what's going on? Really, Dad? Interesting. So one day I was like sick of it, and I was just gonna test him and play something for him. So I played something on my phone, and he, exactly as I predicted, he goes, "This is the most graphic and disgusting thing I've ever heard. What is this?" And I got to go, "Dad, that's a recording of you putting Grandma's pool cover back on. That's what that is." Doesn't that make Eminem sound like a lullaby, Dad? If you want to hear the most explicit rap verse of all time, just put my dad in the studio and make him build a porch. It'll get crazy in there. He used to flip out about everything, the tiniest little things. I didn't know that fishing was supposed to be relaxing until I went with someone else's family. That's true. We were baiting our hooks, and I was the only one going, "Stupid plastic piece of shit, we don't make anything in America anymore." The dad's like, "Is he eating worms? Who's your new weird friend? Who is your new weird friend that is eating worms, probably?" Quick fishing story about my dad. So we would go fishing on this little tiny lake by our house, and we just had a rowboat. We didn't have anything fancy, we just had a rowboat. So we were rowing out to a secret spot one day, and then this dude in a speedboat, what are you laughing at? Small lake. Yeah, I guess the secret spot is it's right there. That is funny, I didn't think about that. But it wasn't his secret spot. Dude in a speedboat, though, one day we were rowing out there, and he goes right around us, and he stole the secret spot, which I've never seen my dad so mad in his life. He was sitting in the boat, trying to figure out what he could say to this guy to make him intimidated. And I'm just sitting there watching my dad trying to cook up this insult of a lifetime. Look, what can he say to make himself look intimidating? And I just came to the conclusion it's impossible to look intimidating in a rowboat. You can't do it. It's impossible. So my dad looks over at this guy across this little lake and goes, "Hey, fuck you, buddy!" And then we were back at the dock. We had to get out. We just had to get out. We lost that interaction pretty bad. We lost. Anybody here unemployed? Alright, of course somebody at the comics table is unemployed. Vote for them. Just kidding, vote for me. Vote for me. Always vote for me. Unemployed, it sucks. I was unemployed for like 7 straight months after college. That sucked. After like month 5, I was just like looking at my diploma, like, what do you do? You know, so after like month 5, I was like, you know what, maybe my dad's work buddies are right and there's going to be a communist takeover. I'm going to be fine with that because then the government will just give me a job. I'll be fine with that. Give me a job. I would just sit in my room going, come on, communism, take over. All right, you guys are not on board with this. I think it's because you guys need to just get used to the word communism, right? Just say it, communism, say it, communism, say it, say it, say it, communism, say it, communism, yell it, communism, communism, yell it. Dude, they hate me at the VFW. They hate me at the VFW. My nickname at the VFW was Charlie. They hate me at the VFW. Do not jump out of the bushes at the VFW. They hate that. They do not like that. At the VFW, I saw a guy go like this in the back. Let's run that joke back one more time. Let's do it again. Speaking of communism, I read this stat the other day that kind of scared me a little bit. I don't know if you guys have seen this stat, but 1 in 5 people in the world are Chinese. You heard about this? 1 in 5? There's 6 people in my family. So dude, which one of us is Chinese? I think it's my dad. Because he hates Japanese people. He really does. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Nothing on that? That's an established form of racism with its own Wikipedia page. What's going on? Look it up. Racism towards mainland China from Japan. Alright, anyway. You guys really left me hanging on that one. It's a good joke. You know that like the metro area of like Shanghai has like 20 to 30 million people in it? Can you imagine? Like they literally have so many people in that one city that they incentivize people to get cremated because there's not room for cemeteries. Can you imagine? Yeah, yep. So if I had to pick one person who was an expert in China at this show, it's the guy who looks straight off the board game Guess Who. It's that guy. You look like Bob's Big Boy all grown up, sir.